Yeah, what I want to talk to you guys about right now is a video I'm making. Is this video, which is about the problem with pacifism. Now, for many people, I mean, a lot of people would probably wonder, how could there any problem with pacifism? It means no war. And if there's no war, there's less problems. There's less problems. There's less poverty. There's less racism. There's less, blah, 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 all that sort of crap. But this is the problem. But what I want to get into dealing with the problem with pacifism is the pacifism ideology. Um, because you have to realize something about pacifism. Is pacifism has to be one of the most flawed, extremist concepts. Now, of course, this is something you have to pay much attention to get it. But to get it, and I will explain it. I swear you'll ever deal with in your life, okay? Me being me being a conspiracy theorist, I don't like pacifism. I just don't like it. Because the problem with pacifism and why I believe it's an extreme ideology is the problem with pacifism is that pacifism is seeing the world from one perspective. It's pretty much the classic left right paradigm. The classic left right paradigm, that's around the world, which doesn't necessarily have to mean political, but it's either you're one way or you're another way. Just like middle school sort of stuff, you're either a geek or you're either a nerd, uh, or you can also refer to them. They're also referred to as geeks, or you're a cool kid. That's it. That's how some kids would probably tell you. We don't want anybody trying to do anything different here. Because it'll just cause problems. And this is the problem with the world is that every single thing, ideology people develop is just like that. Everything is just one way or another. It's never woman, thinking it rationally, like maybe in this situation it's kind of bad to do this, but maybe in this situation it's kind of good to do this, even though it makes us feel uncomfortable, you know? And this is the problem with pacifism. I'm gonna get into my issues with pacifism very soon. But yeah, just before I start off with talking about the problem with pacifism is that oh, stupid Freemasonic symbolism has popped up just now. Fucking hate Freemasonry. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, my eye just went to the side. I do not like them at all. But this is the problem with pacifism, which I'm going to explain quickly. Is that pacifism, for one, is an ideology that pretty much says, that if a country attacks us, we're not really going to take much. We're not going to focus too much on war, or you're a psychopath if you're interested in war and stuff and all that sort of stuff. And it can be very offensive to a lot of young people. And I have dealt with people like that who every single time you say that you're into war and all that sort of stuff, they say that you're a psychopath, which is a pretty extreme term to say, about somebody. But now back to the issue of the problem with pacifism. Do you notice that this thing I've noticed about reality, that whenever there's chaos, things have to be the most interesting and exciting that it has ever been, okay? And when there's no chaos and there's no violence, there's no shootings or warfare, or talk about warfare and stuff, we live the most boringest lives ever. We tend to live the most boringest lives ever. And this is the problem with pacifism as a whole. Is that the problem with pacifism as a whole is that not only could it put a nation in danger because of the simple fact that we're saying that we don't care for weapons, we don't care for this, we don't care for that. It's also the issue is that what do we do then? Because you have to realize violence as a whole. People say violence is a part of human nature. It's just human instinct. Some people would go as far as to say that we've been doing this for centuries, for a millennium, and all that sort of stuff. So it's kind of ingrained in our subconscious mind. But I don't believe that, to be honest with you. I believe just like everything in the world, people have the choice if they want to enjoy something. People have the choice if they don't want to enjoy something. People have the choice if they, you know, people just in general are into anything that offers are can be interested in just about anything. Can like just about anything. That's one thing I've observed about people. But yeah, just in general speaking, the truth, and yes, my camera is very low on energy, is that this is the problem with pacifism, is that they always want to create a situation where there's no war. Okay, that's good. That makes a lot of sense. Like, who needs war? But the problem with them is that they have to be some of the most snobbish, cheesiest people I swear you will ever meet in your life. And this is the reason why I cannot stand them. And this is the problem I have with them as a whole, is that if you actually go back a couple decades ago, it was actually those same pacifists who are going around saying, "Oh yeah, there's too much violence on TV." They're like the type of kid who every single time you're talking, and it's not even, you're not like you're talking to somebody, you're just talking to somebody else about violence and stuff, and somebody just said, and he just butts in your conversation just saying, "Ew, you're a psychopath." Like they just judge everybody. They just judge everybody. I just find them annoying. I just find them annoying, to be honest with you. And just in general, the issue with pacifism that's a problem with them is that whenever they solve and they make, and our society becomes a more peaceful place, they don't ever have any plans on what we are supposed to do for entertainment, okay? Like, they don't have any plans. Like, for one, the school system as a whole is boring, so that's out of the question. But when we try to let out our emotions, killing people who themselves are bad guys, nobody really plays a video game where you play as a bad guy and attack innocent people for no apparent reason. Then they call us psychopaths, and they say that we should get rid of that. Why don't you focus on more positive things such as enlightening people and helping people? And I just find them annoying. People would blame it on Christians, but I don't think it's just Christians. It's just a lot of people think like that, and it's actually very annoying. It's very annoying, and it can actually really destroy an individual. If somebody takes that stuff personally. Um, if somebody takes that stuff personally, because this is the problem with our society, and this is why everybody, whenever something happens, everybody's automatically interested. Everybody's automatically paying attention because our society does not offer anything to entertain ourselves. Just about every single thing that there is to entertain ourselves is either of poor quality, or just in general, poor quality, or they just don't have enough variety. Like, pretty much what they expect you to do is just play sports if you want to be interested in something. If you want to be interested in something, I've talked to people and they say, "Oh, what are you into? Are you into sports? What are you into? Basketball, soccer? I know you must like one of those things." And I'm like, "I'm not into any of those things." And this is the reason why the world will be violent for such a period of time, because we don't have enough to entertain people. Why don't you guys talk? If you guys are in a position of power in the government, okay, why don't you guys talk about actually making school more interesting? Why don't you talk about maybe people learning how to drive cars? Maybe people opening classes where people could learn how to drive cars more effectively. Why don't you teach people how to learn to how to learn to be more interested in the world. Why don't we have better entertainment? Because our entertainment standards are really not as much better than they've ever been. It's pretty much the question that we live in a mediocre world, and it's only through war everybody actually does something. Because honestly our system does not teach us to be interested in anything else, and it's very lame, and that's why this world sucks so much and why it's so boring. Why it's so boring and nothing happens. And this is not going to be the last part. There's going to be a part 2 for this. This issue really gets to me.